the Americas Championship while we're still over there.
Yeah, it has been won last weekend by Argentina 15. The non-capped, non-test side in it are just tearing it up to smithereens, with Chile still to play, and they've got it all wrapped up. That's dominance.
Yes, it is. Yeah,
it's probably for the best that they're in there, though. Just
to
lessons in rugby.
Yeah, that's kind of good. Like when too often when you see just a tier 2 competition like the Rugby Europe Championship, where there is one dominant force in it, but they're still a tier 2 team and they're still playing to that standard. Whereas in this, albeit yes, it's slightly boring to see Argentina not even take it seriously and still easily.
Well, it'd be like if you had the England Saxons in the Rugby Europe Championship. They'd probably do something similar. They probably would club level test rugby.
Yeah,
well, not test rugby, but
club
professional
level professional rugby. Yeah, and would do something similar. Apart from when they get scrumming with the Georgians.
Well, this is the national side of the Tony show.
Indeed,
Not to mention they might get shocked into Tbilisi if they had to go there and play them there.
That's true. I think that would be a fun game.
It would indeed.
England Saxons or Georgia v England Saxons in Tbilisi.
Indeed. There's a game.
Fireworks.
There's a game.
But it just colours the tournament, and it means that the sides can't be forgetting what actual rugby looks like when it's played to really a standard above the standard they're at right now, which is good because.
And they're also not invincible. It's not the All Blacks. They're like Canada got some purchase against them, got a few tries up in the tight, and then got exposed a little bit for their soft defence and ultimately lost. I think it was 39-23 to Argentina up in Canada. And that's good. That's
impressive. That's Argentinian hustle on the road. Yeah, it's good to see. And Brazil, big scrum in Brazil, managed to beat Chile.
I only saw clips of this, and I read a report that was like, what had been decent about them last week was their handling was okay. Like the South American side, certainly Uruguay, are looking almost more Argentinian. But Brazil aren't really necessarily. No. They're very much their own thing, and they were struggling to make hay with the ball.
Right.
That said, Chile, in the week of their 7-side holding South Africa to a memorable 5-5 draw in the ugliest game of sevens you could ever conceive.
I've never seen a sevens game as bad as that.
It was incredible, and that's the way the Chile boys roll. And they
kick a lot of ball because they all are footballers, really.
They had some good little plays in that vein against Brazil, and there's a noise. And they frustrated them and kept it to an interesting little scoreline. It's a negative step for Brazil for sure. But nothing too major. It's just struggling against a lower opposition. And I get the sense that Chile, when things go right for them, can be a frustrating team.
They seem to be, don't they? They're awkward. I don't quite know how to place it.
A few elbows in there. And they're probably
slide tackles, knees, slide tackles to the knee, that kind of buzz. Yeah, they're dirty.
This is a statement.
No, I'm actually just talking about their sevens team now. I'm just remembering that game because it's like, they're hilarious little footballers who literally took the ball. The first thing they did was kick it away. Something you never see in sevens, and then proceeded to tackle pretty harshly, but also when the try was eventually scored, there was a late hit.
There was loads of late hits on the South Africans in sevens, which is you rarely
never see it. It's a weird way of playing the game,
and they've perhaps a similar identity at test level. Although I don't really know. I can't speak with too much knowledge on the Brazil-Chile game.
No, the only other game that we kind of did have a look at some of the plays from.
I watched
the game.
I
saw a few of the plays from it, but USA 25. Uruguay 32.
This was a brilliant game. I had the UFC, which was a great night of fighting on at the time that it was on, and I had that on the big screen and this on the small screen, and I just, as good as the fighting was at the end of the day, I'm a rugby man, and it just was like trying to watch fights. I was just watching it. It was very, very fun. The US, for all of they weren't terrible. You especially in their backline, you'd love to see. You look at their sevens team and all the absolute athletes that are in that team. Even guys like Madison Hughes is an athlete and a rugby player. But there's a little more functional nature to their backline. Their pack are pretty strong though, and they defend all right. They get when the play gets fractured, then they don't cope that well with it.
No, their scrambles great, and their coverage when it's from counter-attacking tries. In fact, they look a little rudderless at times.
They did, but that said, Uruguay can make it.
They executed 2 on ones properly.
They were looking entirely like Argentina. Just their hustle was great, and the high ball off the free kick that they just won, and then insta try. But picking great angles. Talk about coming on leaps and bounds. They qualified for the World Cup for the first time the last time out, and they were out of their depth. It was basically the first time anyone from Tier 1 would have heard of Uruguay rugby in a real sense, and it was like, whoa, Diego Forlan at 10 or what's going on?
I don't know.
It's like, and then they were hammered by everybody, but it was learnings for them, and they've come back and they have a very similar identity to what Argentina have. For a Tier 2 team, for one of the lower ranked Tier 2 teams, not for long obviously, their catch pass is great.
It's great, and it seems to be whatever they're prioritising over their
skills. Quick and skilled,
Yeah.
and that's a good combination.
Yeah,
it's good. Great for some World Cup tries, which I'm sure we'll see in the autumn.
For sure.
And it was great for some tries bagged against USA, who had some answers, but ultimately not all of them. They just stayed ahead of them.
And the Texas crowd going quiet.
Yeah, trying to get into it. Taufete was getting them into it with another hat-trick, which, by the by, has him overtake Keith Wood as the top try scorer for a hooker. 18. Woody's was 15. He did it in 21 tests. 18 tries and 21 tests.
That is some strike where that's all black winger or Stockdale levels of conversion.
He's
what
a baller. I've heard a lot of people were giving out about laughing at the US this week and your man saying he's only done it against whatever sides and he's no Keith Wood, which is probably true. He's nobody's any Keith Wood. Maybe Keith Wood.
Keith Wood was one.
But so it's
a bit moot.
It's a moot point, but there were people piggybacking on the whole world rugby selection and going, "Oh, look how bad they are." They're actually quite a good side. They're just lacking a little bit in confidence after a great year last year, and are just a little bit
stuttering a little bit, and they were caught by a feisty and quick Uruguay team that capitalised on a few of their mistakes.
It was not
excellent.
It was not for a Tier 2 game. It was not that error strewn. But it was a lot of ball in play. There was a lot of positive attacking rugby from both sides, and Uruguay got the better of it. It was a pleasure to watch, a real pleasure to watch.
Great stuff. Really good advertisement for that tournament, and just some of those teams that are up and coming from that neck of the woods. It's good to see. It's positive, and it is an argument for more inclusivity in that calendar. But like we were saying before, don't be scrapping these tournaments that are doing so well, and just utilize the autumn window to get these guys playing.
Nobody's doing anything in the autumn. That's the point. They're all just playing each other in friendlies. So let's do something with that. That's going back to the previous conversation. But the people are playing things right now.
Indeed.
And they're you're tearing it all up. Exactly.
And this is they're playing competitive fixtures, and the I've seen a few there've been some good rugby in this tournament so far. In all the games, have produced some cool moments. So it's why would you?
Certainly, if you're I know it hasn't gone as well for them this year as it did last year. Obviously, the USA, but if you're a US fan and you're in Texas going out to the local games, you're encouraged. You're thinking this is a hell of a way to spend a Saturday afternoon. Exactly. This is what I want to be doing. Yeah. And
so it's a good product. So keep it going.
It concludes this week with a couple of as much as you could call test matches derbies, but they are.
Well, the USA v Canada. That's a derby. That's a derby. It's a rivalry.
And Uruguay v Brazil as well.
There's a feisty
Chile Argentina, not to mention.
Yeah.
All derbies, the 3 derby games for test matches, are to wrap it up. You would expect a blowout from the Argentinian boys.
You would really.
You would expect the US to bounce back and get the better of Canada, who are
Uruguay, Brazil.
Oh yeah, I think
styles.
I think it's going to be a great game. I also think Uruguay might school them a little bit in the wide channels, just on the evidence even of just last week, but also what they've been building the last couple of years. Their skill level is great. It's nice to see skills pay off. That said, their scrum's going to struggle.
That's true.
We know that much.
So that's why it's an interesting game. It could be a slow, turgid Brazilian win or a flashy, sexy Uruguayan win. Could be either one, and
lots of
both pictures are funny.
Indeed. A cracking tournament, and World Rugby are doing a great job broadcasting that. It's live on YouTube and Facebook. It's just there,
so watch it.
Absolutely.
Thanks for watching the Overlap Rugby podcast. If you want to subscribe. There should be a button up here. Don't forget to give us a like and share with your friends, and please leave comments down below. We love the conversation. Thanks.